It's been 2 years at Abrax Press. I know I keep on saying it, but I'm still trying to believe it myself. As for why I started the show, I've gone over that a few times, but I'm more concerned with the people that have helped make it happen, and the people that keep on making it great, and those that are willing to give us a shot, those that are willing to support us. Those are the folks that have kept us going. I honestly wasn't really sure how long we would go for it when we started, but 2 years with no sign of stopping, this is pretty cool. So I wanted to go through and thank people specifically for their contributions to our telling of the Expanse kind of unfolding, the Schlubs in Space spiel, if you've heard me talk about that many times. So here it goes in no particular order, just kind of people that have played with us over the last year, especially because it's been a big year, the 1 year since our first year anniversary. Jorge Martinez, TTRPG GIFs. This guy's dope. He's one of my favorite people. He's one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. He's played with us a few times, done some charity streams with us too. Has done a lot of our GIF animations. If you've seen him on Twitter, we use him for reactions. Brilliant person, absolute just ball of love. I don't know what to say about him. Emily Friedman, great scholar, someone that I respect a lot in terms of academics and talking about tabletop RPGs, but playing with her has been lasting. I will say that in terms of her impact and her character, and she's a great performer. Guys, bring her on your shows to play. She's a blast, absolute blast to play with. B Zelda, who we kicked off Moloch's Gambit with, was a blast to play with. They've also played with us on some of our charity streams, and can't say enough. Thank you for bringing that alive and bringing kind of some conflict and an absolutely ridiculous French accent to the show, which was a blast. Belter French was a lot of fun. April Reagan to play with us. April's a lovely performer, great person, a lot of fun. Spoiler alert, thank you for letting me kill your character. That was a blast. I don't know if I killed your character. You kind of did it yourself too, but it was fun. Soraya, who is our one of my students from UC Merced, who's played with us, had a very big interest in playing actual play and got to play with us several times now, like I think 4 times, and was brilliant. Really pissed off some of my players in a good way, so that we love that. That's always good. So thank you for hanging out and play with us. Markia McCarty, who played the end of our Moloch's Gambit and kind of helped us establish the way forward for the crew to have a bunch of people to go establish a colony. Absolutely lovely person, really, really friendly. I've seen them MC events, so they have that going for them too. But yeah, Marquia is fantastic. Sam Ostina, who's one of our original cast members, someone I worked with at the UC, but began playing Abrax Press with us when we started. Due to scheduling conflicts, couldn't keep up with it, or like stay on the game weekly, but has come back and guested with us. And Sam's been a long-time supporter and great cheerleader in terms of just not just our like game, but also even me personally at work and advocate and everything like that too. So thank you so much. In the last year, we haven't just played Abrax Precipice, our main campaign. We've also played, I believe, 4 one-shots. I was trying to count it up. I believe I have 4 one-shots in the last year. The first one was Moranis Cycle, which was all guest people. A lot of them were brought back. And we were raising money for the National Abortion Funds. I remember offhand, I should have written it down. But fantastic game. Got to show off the colony rules for the early on. But thank you to Legal Kimchi, who returned as a player for that. London Carlisle, who played our governor, who was one of Emily's students, and the dude's a great performer. Highly recommended checking him out. Emily Ervelina, who played with us in our first one-shot, actually, our first horror one-shot years back, with a whole new character that was a lot of fun, stepped up the last minute. I got more to say about some of the cast from that show, but we'll come back to that here in a moment. I also wanted to say thank you to the cast of Hemos Rise, which is our second horror one-shot. We love doing these horror one-shots. They're kind of silly Halloween episodes. That one, and I cannot remember who we raised money for that one, but we raised money for that one also for a charity. Lynn Nakasane, who did our artwork for, if you've seen our promo art of the crew, that was Lynn. Lynn is an utterly brilliant artist, an utterly lovely person. Thank you so much for all the stuff that Lynn's done. Just that straight alone, but even playing was a lot of fun. I think Lynn was one of the end game survivors Also to Lauren Urban, who stepped up to play that charity game. Lauren's, I mean, needs no introduction if you're familiar with the actual play space. Lauren's a great proponent of RPGs and just another great person to play with. Jorge came back for that one too, and I believe he died, which was a lot of fun. So, but that was a lot of fun. That was Hemos Rise was my weird horror off world RPG one that went all over the place, and I kind of go into my horror RPGs without a plan. And that one, it went to plan. The other one I gotta say then is we did a big one for my birthday back in February, and we raised a ton of money for World Central Kitchen, which is an organization near and dear to my heart. They came out to my area just a month before we did this to alleviate some of the food issues that during the flood we had here in my area, town over. So I literally had friends and colleagues that were getting food from these guys. But a big thank you, Emily Friedman, for coming back as her character. That was a blast again, getting to see her character as a grad student and kind of a little more, I don't want to say naive, but younger, for to say the least. Goldie Chan, who came back as Cecilia, who is one of the most terrifying characters I've ever had the privilege of running in a game. Goldie came back and did that and had an utter blast. Yeah, a lot of love for Goldie. Big thank you to Jennifer Kretschmer for doing that one too. She stepped up and played the whole character. She was the only character that didn't have plot armor because everybody else survives past that one. We were kind of joking about that during the stream, but we raised a ton of money doing that thing for World Central Kitchen. And finally, B. Dave Walters, buddy, one of the first people I ever actually professionally worked with in the space, in person at least, came and played Fred Johnson. He was not really familiar with Expanse, but he read enough and checked it out, and he was like, "This is a dope character." And he brought a good Fred Johnson out, and we had a lot of fun with that. And Josh Simons played with us at that one too, but we'll come back to that one. Then we also did just last month we did Those Who Trust, which was a one shot of running one of the community games. So there's an Expanse RPG community that's all on Discord and Facebook and has a website, and they do lots of cool materials. And every year now they're doing a one page jam, and they decided to do one that's colony based using the Beyond the Ring rules. And then the community vote. The bunch went in there, but then they voted on which one was the favorite. And buddy Guilherme out of Brazil won, and so I ran his adventure with him. We ran with Merrick Moore from Skyhammer Press, who also runs Hellbreakers, another Expanse actual play. So this is another fellow GM. We got to play with Odin Lovely, I believe it is, who is one of the admins of the Expanse RPG community. So I've played in one of his games a while back too. He's a blast to play with. And then Guilherme got to play in it as well. But lastly, we got to play with pretty much a good port. I think almost like at least the top tier, the top echelon of members of Green Ronin's development team for the Expanse role-playing game. So this included Steve Kenson, whose games I've enjoyed for years, Ian Lemke, who's the head developer for the Expanse and a blast to talk about the stuff with, and a good guy to pitch ideas to once in a while and talk to about that kind of stuff. Really just a lovely gentleman. And finally, Chris Pramus, who is a hero. It might be a way of putting it. I had posters with his name up in my room in high school. That's telling you something about what I was like in high school. But yeah, it was really cool to play with the Ronins and everything like that too. We also appeared at Gen Con. I went up there and hung out and got to meet the Ronins a lot of people from Green Ronin, a lot of people from all over the place, people I've been talking to online for a while. But we did into OrcaCon, where we actually, a major portion of the cast convened, and we ran a bonus episode. If you're on our Patreon, you can find that podcast of it, where we had Sam, Maria, and Donna all play together in the same room, did a podcast version of OrcaCon, which was a blast to do. And we'll hopefully be back at we should be back at OrcaCon this year. We're really looking forward to that and having a presence there again, because we had such a fun time there. So then I got some special thanks. These are people that have consistently over time done stuff to support us, help us out, played, whatever, gone above and beyond for us and such. So first up, I want to thank Troy Hewitt from Green Ronin. Troy's community management has been amazing. He promotes us when he can. He's helped us out. A lot of our giveaways, our current giveaway with the Beyond the Ring physical copies is courtesy of Troy. So thank you so much. Absolute gentleman. I can't say enough good things about him. And I've had him play in one of our games once, and he was the first to die. So he's a good sport. Josh Simons, I mentioned him a few times. Josh has played in, I believe, of guest players, has, I think, the second highest count of games. I want to say he's played in 4 games. Wait, one. He played in Morena Cycle as his character. He played in Adaptus Fate as his character. He's played on our show twice, at least, I believe, as Dr. Marv de Valentine. So he's got 4 under his belt. I believe that's the second highest guest spots. But Josh is a big, just another one of these people in the community that just goes above and beyond for folks. Thank you for all that. And I totally forgot Josh's boss, Adam Bradford, just played with us. And Adam came back, and Adam's a big Expanse geek and likes playing the game too. So thank you again to Adam Bradford. I'll remember him as I go through them. Our record for guest spots is actually Jacob Mundell. Jacob, if you don't know, played Eric in season 5 of the Expanse. That was Amos's buddy back on Earth. And Jacob turns out is a big tabletop role-playing game geek. Loves Pathfinder, Starfinder, stuff like that. But learned about the Expanse thing and came up and played with us. Did a charity game, and he did a big spot for us during Moloch's Gambit. Jacob, you went above and beyond for us too, man. Like, I just kind of reached out to you because I was like, let's see if this guy wants to play. He's cool. I love him from the show, and it turns out he's a big nerd. And his playing was his gift to himself before he got married or something like that. He kind of made it out that way. It's kind of funny. He's, I'm gonna do some geek stuff before I get married, and congratulations to him and his husband. But Jacob and I really sat down and explored disability in the Expanse. We got to play this elaborate thing. We played through Abaddon's Gate. It was really cool because he hadn't read the book of Abaddon's Gate. He's seen the show. So he was like blown away by the differences. So that was really cool. But this is someone that we absolutely love. And his character's legacy in our game is still standing. It gets mentioned a lot. There's elements here, little items, and also even like the name of the colony that the crew manages is named after his character. So thank you so much to Jacob Mundell for being a big proponent of our show and helping us out and playing with us and having a blast. The last folks I want to thank is twofold. There's two groups. One, I'll begin with the obvious one, the cast. Donna, Michael, Maria, Scott from the last year. Guys, some of you have listened since the beginning. Some of you jumped on. I thank every single one of you for playing this weekly with me when you can. And that's the thing too, is we all have lives. I understand my crew has lives. My cast has lives. I have a life. We've canceled some shows here at the last minute. It happens. But we all are very understanding of each other, and we all accept circumstances, and we all try to adapt, and we all try to move forward no matter what. And I can't say enough good things about every single person I play with. They go above and beyond when they can. Performances are great. We feel comfortable with each other. We trust each other. I really couldn't ask for anything more from the cast. I really can't. So thank you to all, to Donna, Maria, Scott, and Michael for hanging out with me and letting me and becoming schlubs in space for the last few years. The last folks to thank are our supporters. Support for our show comes in a few ways. One, just watch it. Follow us on social media. Retweet something. Like something on YouTube. Leave a comment. All that stuff we love. If you're on the podcast, great. All that's great. We also have our Patreon. We have some people that come on. They throw what they can. That's great. We have other folks that go in and go for like our Mason's Haven founders, where they can vote on the colony stuff and actually kind of interact with the game, which is super fun. We've had some debates break out about actions on there. I make some hard. It is a hard multiple choice test. I will say that is what best way to describe it. You guys just watching and hanging out with us and checking out the show, it just means the world to us. It's what keeps us alive. It helps keep things flowing. If you hit a sub on Twitch, that's great. If you just watched on Twitch, that's great. If you go ahead and hit a thumbs up on YouTube, that's great. Whatever you do, we appreciate everything. But that's what helps keep us going. Let us know that what we're doing is something. At least it might be good. I guess it might. I've heard some people like it. But yeah, this has been a huge year. All this has happened. I just got back from the Telltale event. I've become good friends with some of the folks in the Expanse community outside the RPG. That's really cool. I like all the entry points. In the past year, I've done 2 panels at 2 different conventions about the Expanse. I've been on a panel with one of the producers for God's sakes, which blew my mind. I've gotten to meet people from the show. I've gotten to go and check out the new games. I've gotten stuff like been been asked some weird questions by some people who I never thought would want my opinion on anything about the Expanse, but here we are. And it means a lot. I do a lot with this property, this IP in terms of like I use the books in my class. I think about this stuff. I run a game on it. The board game's fun by WizKids. All that stuff. So I have a life outside of the Expanse. Don't get me wrong, but it is a big chunk, and I like that we've all come together to hang out and talk about this cool thing that we all really love. And that's the basis of most friendships, is a common interest, and it spirals out from there, guys. So look, onwards and forwards. I joke about the playing Abrax Precipice forever and ever, but I mean, yeah, we have like 180 plus hours of gameplay footage, guys, like a podcast, everything, and that's no small feat. Like I know that's no small feat. People are shocked when I tell them that we have that big of a catalog of stuff. So look forward to more stuff for the summer. I don't have much else I can say. We're gonna be at Gen Con, or not Gen Con, sorry. We'll be at OrcaCon for sure. I know I'm going to Big Bad Con this year. I'm gonna try to run the Expanse games there, just kind of have some fun with people and introduce them to the game, age system, and all that kind of stuff in Green Ronin. So, but look, that's it. Thank you. That's too long. Didn't read. If you want to skip to the end, right here. Thank you everyone for everything. I love doing this, and thank you for just watching and hanging out with me on occasion, geeking out about Expanse stuff. So that's it. All right, we'll see you guys on Wednesday nights with Abrax Precipice on twitch.tv/onlyplaywizards, guys. Thank you so much.